This is a place that went through a 5-year protracted war, and it exposed many people to violence and all forms of inhuman treatment. So many people died, and even in the course of the war, AIDS took its toll, and the income is low. So people's attitude towards education was very low because they didn't have any hope of sending their children to school, or the children themselves didn't have any person to help them go to school. But it all began bit by bit, and by the time I came in, SCM had enrolled a reasonable number of children, and even the negative attitude generally, it's like this negative attitude about school has so much changed, because they can look at someone they thought that would suffer in life because first of all is an orphan, but now when they see this person excelling in studies and getting a good job, even those who have the means to go to school but had abandoned that line have come back to the line, and believe me, we have now more children going to school than it was before. So I think it's one, besides giving support, but it's like it has caused that sensitization in the minds of people that it is important to pursue education.
Something that brings change is the greatest thing to have ever. If you are to change the world, you begin with changing the people that live in the society. So when you change the world, you are really creating people, a different kind of society, a different kind of people. So that's how SCM has really helped out in changing communities around the ranch and beyond. Because if something is a blessing to you, it has to change the other person people knew to another different person people get to know.
Resources are always limited. They're getting more severe all the time, worldwide. Here in Uganda, price of everything's going sky high, crazy, you know. I run out of money every month, several months have run out, you know. But we've tried to focus on what's the most important, and that's reaching out to those children, sharing the gospel, getting them out of the bush and into the school, because that's their only real hope out of poverty. Poverty's a mindset, it's not a condition. Conditions are temporary. If you have the mindset of poverty, you're always going to be poor. And if you can get them out of that mode and through education, then they can make something of themselves, even though they come from that background of poverty. And we've seen many, many people around this ranch do that.
Sponsorship is not an automatic case, because there is no ready money to dish out to the children. So it takes grace, God's grace, for that child to get a sponsor. So while they have that sponsorship, they must make sure that they make the best use of that opportunity. Because I've seen so many boys and girls out there who would love to be in school today, but because they cannot get money to take them to school, they are out and suffering.
When I completed my primary 7 and I was enrolled to the secondary school, my dad was having trouble raising my money for school, and that really could give me headache. So I could stay home for a week or two when he's trying to figure out how to raise money for my school fees. But when I was enrolled into SCM, I couldn't bother about where the school fees could come from. So I really focused, that really made me focus much on my studies. So I had that in mind, that if someone could work hard to raise my money, I couldn't again go to school and just play around and don't do my duties and responsibilities. So I really focused much on my studies, and I concentrated, and that's how it changed my life. There is a saying that someone can't give you your hand if he doesn't really know your heart. So when HCM has really given a hand and given a heart, both, it has really done it. So, love is the greatest, one of the most scarce things that we lack in our communities. But when someone comes and really shows that he's there for you, I think that is one of the greatest accomplishments that God has ever done through SCM.
They're like a light in a dark tunnel. I think that's how I can explain it. And if you take that light out and you just have another dark tunnel there, and I've seen the work they've done, and the best way I can describe it is like having a light in a tunnel. Maybe God would have used somebody else, I don't know, but He's used them and they're just like a light. From a guy who was in a ghetto and is all hopeless and he can't do anything, to somebody who has a family now, kids, and that love him and adore him, and they can actually look up to him, and you can't explain that.
I've always got kids on the waiting list. I mean, there's always more need than there ever is resources. Our greatest need is to have more sponsors for children, because that drives all the programs, We guarantee in our Constitution, when we founded the organization, that we would spend a minimum of 80% in every penny of sponsorship funds that's donated directly in support of that child. And because of that, we've always been able to garner sponsors when they know and understand that, but it makes a difference in that child's life. And so what do you need? We need people to step up and say, I'll sponsor a child. $25 a month, that's almost nothing.